Ed here with the Digital Digest, and today I wanted to share a quick unboxing and first look at the Spigen thin-fit case designed for the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip. Now, for those of you that follow my channel, you know that I've been using this as my daily driver nearly since its launch. Not literally that day because of availability issues, and it's been a great phone. Really impressed with what Samsung's put together, and in my opinion, this is easily the best folding phone ever, and I think it paves the way towards bigger and better devices like the next generation Fold. But all of that aside, this is about protecting this $1,500 device. And as much as I like the Samsung OEM leather case, which is roughly $80 US, it doesn't really stay on the device. As you can see right here, and this is at no fault of mine, it's just a matter of the adhesive giving up. And I don't know why Samsung has these issues from an engineering design standpoint. I went through this with the Galaxy Tab S6, which in my opinion is the best tablet of its kind on the market. And Samsung had an amazing keyboard cover combo with a trackpad, but it just can't stay on the device. And here I'm reliving some of that nightmare. And I did have to abandon that case as much as it changed the functionality of the Tab S6. Here, abandoning this case won't change functionality, but hopefully the Spigen can actually stay on the device. And before anyone starts saying that it's a matter of following Samsung's instructions, it's user error, at the end of the day, if the case doesn't stay on with me or with many other users that do follow instructions in spite of what anybody thinks on the internet, that is a problem. And the fact that Samsung has to give detailed instructions already isn't great for a device that is designed to be a widely consumed piece of hardware. All that aside, huge fan of the phone, really like the fit and finish of this case, but I know I can't trust it to stay on. It has popped off while I'm using it. This side has been better, the top half not. So let's see what Spigen's put together. For $30, I purchased this on Amazon. They do have a beefier version for $45, which is the Armor case. Spigen did not furnish me with this case, for those of you that are wondering. And we'll see. I mean, I know that the finish, the fit and finish of this case will not be nicer than the leather. In fact, I prefer the leather without any hesitation because it's, you know, the Z Flip is a special device. And it's nice to have something unique to cover it with. And leather is a good concept if it stays on the phone. But if it doesn't, well, we're kind of screwed. So already we can see there are instructions here, just as there are with Sammy. Maybe the instructions are slightly better. But either way, that's not the judge, or that is not how I will judge the performance of the product. It's going to be the actual fit and ability to stay on the device. And everything I've seen about this Spigen thin fit is that it does stay on and has better adhesive than what you're getting for $80 US with Samsung's leather case. Now, there aren't a lot of cases out there for the Z Flip, in spite of the Z Flip selling fairly well. I haven't seen, real numbers. Now with the pandemic, God knows what sells well, because production came to a halt in all of China. So from an electronics standpoint, everything may appear to be sold out, not phones, but computers, webcams, all sorts of tech. But that's also a response to production having been halted globally. So removal, they're showing you right there. Number 1, take off the top half from one side, pry it from the other. 3, pry the bottom half, and 4, the other side of that half. So, but that's just for removal. Now, installation is where I would have liked to have started, so let's look at that. They're showing you that there are non-slip pad stickers on the interior, which we'll see in a moment. And basically the instructions are fairly simple. They're telling you to slide in the top half on one side, then pop it in on the other. They're showing you all of that, and to do the same for the bottom. And then they're saying to slide it once the phone is totally open to meet the ends. So let's try to do that. I don't see anything about wiping down the phone. Of course, I'm going to do that and keep this as dust-free as possible. Nothing else in the package. And just a quick look at this. Another reason that I like the Spigen off the bat is that a lot of, well, there aren't that many cases, but the few that are out there, some manufacturers of these cases have taken the liberty of putting a divider between the external display and the webcam assembly, the camera assembly. I'm not talking about webcams being out of stock. And I have to imagine that is an error. There's a reason Samsung didn't do that, and just in my mind, I would not buy a case that puts anything here. That's just me. So again, following the instructions, and I may not actually remove the stickers here in this video because I'm going to want to clean up the foam, but let's go ahead and just pop this off. Again, this is the fit and finish of the Samsung leather, which I know I prefer over thin plastic, but you know, again, if the case stays on, that ultimately makes the choice for me, and I know that this case does not. You can see that's fairly clean as I take off the top half. The bottom half is a little bit more adhesed, so that will take a little more effort, but still not any super glue. I see one of my pup's hairs got in there. So there is, you can see how clean this is, but in spite of being so clean, a little bit of dust here close to the edge, which I will clean up, that case just isn't gonna stay on. So let's go ahead and follow those directions, which again, you can see are right there, starting with, as they've shown, popping in. Of course, this should be removed first, and in the follow-up, I'll get to that, don't worry. Pop that in, pop that in, simple. I can already see why they're saying make sure that you actually slide the pieces together. Pop that in, whoop, pop that in, and push it together. Looks like we have clean fit there. It's on. A lot of people have also talked about grip with this phone because, of course, the all-glass body is slippery. Cases, most of us want to make this phone a little more tactile, a little bit easier to handle. So I can already tell you off the bat that this feels pretty good. I think the leather is a little bit better, but I knew I'd be partial to the leather. But it is a soft finish, a matte finish on the actual case. One thing I can already tell you, which you should notice is, and I like this, is that Spigen made sure that this nearly seals the gap that inherently exists on the Z Flip. I know you can still see it, but compared to the leather OEM case that I just removed, the gap was far more defined. Now it's not flush completely, but definitely closer. So as long as this doesn't affect, you know, microphone, speaker performance, which I don't think it will, this already looks to be a good substitute. And $30 is still too expensive, in my opinion, for a case like this. But if it works, it works. And by all means, right now, this seems like it will be good. Now, as far as it coming off without removing the adhesive, and that's part of the reason I didn't pull it off, is because everything I've seen about this is that this actually stays on fairly well, regardless of whether or not the adhesive is relied upon. And I can already see that. And that's because you saw the way I had to snap it in. And that snap in is something that you just don't get with the Sammy case. And what does that leave us with? A case that appears to be staying on. So I already like that. And yeah, it's not popping off. I'm pulling and none of those pieces are coming off. So that's already a good sign. That already makes me feel like the leather case is going to be retired, which is awful considering it's 80 bucks. I may still be able to return it. Either way, I'm more interested in having a functional case for my daily driver, even if I'm not leaving the house. You shouldn't be either, unless you're an essential worker. And if you don't know what that means, I can't really help you. I just, hope that you don't get people sick, please. It's not a good thing. Anyway, this looks good to me. I'm liking it. I didn't think I necessarily would. Hard to give up leather for plastic, even if I'm saving money. But at the end of the day, right now, it looks like this is going to be the more functional case. And I have to say, less material on the bezel, which is definitely a good thing. I'm liking everything about this. I didn't think I would, but looks like kudos go to Spigen for designing a better case than Samsung. Not the first time, certainly won't be the last. Samsung hasn't been hitting it out of the park with this crap lately, have they? So, of course, once I remove the stickers, I think that this thing is going to stay on even more permanently. It's like an extra measure, whereas with the Samsung case, the adhesive is the only measure, which I think is the flaw in the design. So, Samsung hasn't been getting a lot of cases right lately. They make great products. Come on, hire someone that is going to make some great accessories as well, please. Can't make phones this good and then make junk like this. And I'm calling it junk because if it stayed on, well, I wouldn't be sharing the Spigen with all of you. Any questions or comments, please feel free to post them. Hit that like button, and as usual, please feel free to subscribe and stay safe. Later.